again, happy Memorial Day, everybody. John, I would like to hear your story real quick on where you're putting flags out. I would like to also, on behalf of the team, basically just say, hey, happy Memorial Day. I've sent numerous messages out to all of my friends and family members who are veterans active in the armed services. If you've been a veteran with for our country, past, present, or tend to be in the future, we thank you. We thank you for a service that is second to none, bravery that is second to none. If you are a family member of a service member, we thank you. The toll it takes on families is really second to none too. So my best friend's got a son-in-law who's a Navy SEAL. I've got a son-in-law who flies fighter jets, and a whole host of other family members who have served. So we appreciate every single one of you, and a big thanks. John, were you putting flags out today? Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir. I'll be on. We do that early in the morning, and then we pick up at night, and then we'll be doing that on Flag Day, and then on 4th of July, and so on and so forth. And it goes towards groups that come in, like the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, or the American League. And then per every flag that they put out, they get $1, and per every flag that they pick up. And it's pretty cool because we get to see the kids, and they are happy to come here because they want to be a part of Veterans Day and be able to give back to the men and women who have served, who have died, and are MIA, missing in action. So it presents leadership, and it's great to see the kids just work it. And they are the ones who are actually doing it. This follows suit by, we have great chair people that do a phenomenal job in so many routes. And this is in Coeur d'Alene, and we have, like, what is it, Wayne, about 8 routes? 8 routes that we put out flags, and we've been doing this for what, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, praise the Lord, man. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. And I also do have a nephew who is a Navy SEAL, as well as a son who's in the Army National Guard. And Juwan, he's pretty awesome, because last week he's like, I'm going to be on this phone call. I'm a leader, and we're going to get it done. So, and Brenda and Jane and everybody else, I love you guys. Thanks for you being you.
Nice. Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for everybody being them. That's cool. All right, here we go. So let's just jump in. You guys, each month, or I guess each week, you've heard me say, gosh, I love this chapter. Gosh, I love this chapter. Gosh, I love this chapter. Oh, I think this chapter might be the most important, or this chapter might be the most important. And, even though it's about my, I think 3rd or 4th time down this book, the law of the big Mo, it doesn't get any more important than this. And for anybody that understands the value and the importance of momentum, I know what this chapter means to you. If you don't understand momentum, this is a chapter you should probably camp out on for, maybe the next, 40 weeks, whatever we have left in 2025. So let's go ahead and, page 195. These are just a few notes I've got. Let me highlight a few of my thoughts and how it parallels, what we do here in Legal Shield. You guys jot down, any aha moments you have. Again, short and sweet, so that we don't filibuster any of the conversation, because our call doesn't go that long, and we can get to everybody if possible. But when I say, you guys have heard me say this a number of times, tell me what it is you hear when I say excellence through execution. Excellence through execution. I talked about it at the Baltimore conference on stage. Excellence through execution. Anybody have a thought to that? Jane?
Yeah, I hear get to work.
Okay. And when you get to work, what does it mean, though?
Yeah, it mean daily activity, calling people, following up, taking action every day, following what we called in what John Drennan, the 3 legs of the stool, showing up, taking, gosh, what are the activity and your personal development every day.
Okay, hold on. So hold on. Wait 1 second. 1 second, Michael.
Okay.
Do you have excellence right out of the gate? Do you have excellence when you start?
Oh, no,
No.
not at all. That's why we do these things, in order to become excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So only through execution do you ever get to excellence. Okay, good. I think Juwan, you were next. Michael, I'll come to you right after that. Juwan,
All right. Can you hear me, Ms. Hoffman?
I can.
All right. You know, what I think about is when you look at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, social media, everybody wants to build fast. Everybody wants to take the shortcut. Everybody wants to utilize AI or some tool um, to basically fast forward into the result. But when I think about excellence through execution, it's the willingness to develop the habits, the mindsets, the frameworks, to put in the work. And you're not going to be perfect, but you wake up every single day just trying to get 1% better. And, you know, no test, no testimony, right? A lot of people want to skip the test, but that's how you become excellent, by going through the trials and tribulations, learning the things you need to learn, understanding how to work with people, how to adopt a lot of the frameworks and business strategies that you have preached from the mountaintops for as long as I've known you. And that's how you become excellent. Like I think about, I can't remember the guy's last name, but his name, but it was something Keaton. He says, I leave perfection up to God, but I'm going to strive to be excellent. And that's what goes across my mind when I listen to this topic, right? What are you doing on a daily basis to get better at the game? What's the price you're willing to pay? And how do you go about that in a consistent way? So
Very good.
those are my thoughts.
I love it. And the part I like right there, no test, no testimony. Spot on. Very, very good. I've tried to talk to you guys and the team for 25 years. Beware of shiny objects. Don't chase bonuses, build a business. Build the doggone business and the bonuses will come. You know, beware of the shiny objects. Real quick, Brenda, we'll go to you and then we'll kind of move on.
I was just thinking doing the daily mundane things that most people will not do.
Yep. Yep. Good. Well, let's look then right there at page
John,
195.
John, you missed Teresa.
I did. Oh gosh.
And Michael.
Yeah.
Michael
Okay.
didn't have up his digital hand though.
Teresa, real quick. Michael, real quick. Okay. Go. Sorry, I missed.
Well, when I think of excellence through execution, I think of Icky Johnson when he says, when I'm in your presence, I owe you excellence. And the only way you're going to get that excellence is through execution, by doing. And you do the thing and you will get the power, not get the power and then you'll be able to do the thing.
Bingo.
So that was my comment.
And you reminded me too, not just Icky, but every time we had lunch or dinner with Miles Monroe, he left his cell phone in the car. He never brought his cell phone to the table. And he said,
Mhm.
when I'm here, I'm present. He goes, it doesn't matter who's trying to reach me or who I need to talk to. I'm here for you. I'm here for the people. Beautiful thing. Michael, did I skip over you? I think I
Yeah,
did.
it was a short note. It was pretty much covered. So basically, I'll just add that what I think of is one of the quotes Jim Rohn had said a while back when he talked about it being a game of numbers, and you know, after a while, you hit 2 out of 10, you hit 2 out of 10. Next thing you know, you're hitting 3 out of 10. So slowly but surely, by that execution, you're getting better. So I'll keep it short at that.
That's good. Jim Rohn, John Hoffman calls it Sinaloa, SINALOA. Safety in numbers and a law of averages. There's safety in numbers and it's just a law of averages. So it's a numbers game. On page 195, if you've got the hardback like me, you'll see in that story, back to kind of Juwan's comment and being aware of shiny objects. I mean, look at how long it took the guys for Pixar to basically get to Toy Story. All right, they had a few animated movies. They were barely breaking even. It was dead end after dead end after dead end after dead end. But they stayed the course, they stayed the game, and they eventually got to Toy Story. Even though Disney didn't like it, they all brought all hands on deck. And then they came back with the last version of Toy Story. Disney loved it. But guess what? It was still 4 more years to make. Still 4 more years. And you know, the beauty in that, and I'm probably getting ahead of myself as I wrote it down, is let me just make sure. Well, let me do, yeah, the beauty, well, I'm gonna get to page 196 on that. So carry it over to 196. So, you know, the beauty in that is don't be concerned. Well, understand, stay the distance. It took 4 more years, you know, to make. So the importance of understanding what you control. I'm going to hit more of that in a minute. Page 196 is another important topic, is don't be concerned with who gets the reward. Don't be concerned with who gets the reward. I can't tell you how many times for 35 years, with Darcy and I doing what we did, whether creating a website, whether doing the conference calls, whether putting a consumer folder together, whatever it was, there was always someone else who wanted to go, come on, and they wanted to kind of separate, create their own team name and kind of do their own thing. And it always amazed me that they would want to break off and do things before they were really even had any of the big mo. And you guys can see, unlike a lot of people, Darcy and I don't put our names on things. We're not trying to get the recognition. We're big believers that if you shine the light on others, they may want to shine the light back on you. And if they don't want to shine the light back, that's fine. I'm all about shining the light. I'm all about making sure that the person on stage, you know, is somebody who is deserving and kind of walk the walk before they talk the talk. But I've never been concerned about who gets the reward. What I have been concerned about is being a man of purpose and making sure that we're walking with the right principles and practices that create the kind of results that we know we can create. As I've always said, nothing gets introduced to this organization that hasn't stood the test of time. Darcy and I are researching regenerative health right now. We're researching some products that we think can be extremely healthy so that nobody ever has to get cut on or you know, Western medicine, you know, the chemo, the radiations, the cut, the take out, the fuse the backs, the fuse the necks, where people are just jacked. You know, there's got to be alternatives. There's got to be better ways. Well, we've come across some stuff that we think is absolutely phenomenal, but before I take it to my mom, before I take it to her husband, before I even do anything with anybody I know, I'm going to be a product of that product, you know, because if we don't get the results, why would I go to the people I love and say, hey, here's some result? Anyhow, you guys follow me. So stay in the game, go the distance. And one of the things I liked about in that chapter, if you look at page 196, put this in your notes. This is for you, but this is for your team. Realistic expectations versus unrealistic. Well, you know, John, I tell you what, I'm excited about Legal Shield. And I'm like, oh, that's great, Joe Smith. You know, tell me, Joe, what you like best. Well, I think it's a great product. I just want to make $10,000 a month. Okay, well, you've been working for ABC Company for the last 15 years. What's been your best year with ABC Company? Oh, my best year is $60,000. Now, you've been 15 years with ABC Company, making $60,000, and yet you see Legal Shield, you want to make $10,000 a month. Is it possible to make $10,000 a month? Absolutely. Should we talk about $10,000 a month in your next 3-4 months and getting there? I think that's very unrealistic, because for things to change, you got to change, and for things to get better, you got to get better. Make sense? You know, those are the types of things we see, you know, so I think it's important that we set people up for realistic expectations, under promise and over deliver, help the organization to sell the membership on the right merits. You don't have to overhype our membership. We want people to use the membership and go, oh my gosh, I forgot I could get my will done. Oh my gosh, you have a gun owner's legal plan. Oh my gosh, you mean you have a home business writer? Oh my gosh, I forgot I could get my contracts and documents reviewed, right? You know, those are the kinds of things that we want to do. With Stephen Jobs and the Pixar guys, they were hoping with Toy Story to break even at 75 million. If we can get 75 million, we'll break even. Man, how nice would that be? If we get to 100 million, both we and Disney can make money. And then what do? Combined, God darn it, where's my notes on that? 562 million, almost 562 million worldwide. You know, but guess what? They didn't set those crazy expectations out there. They just said, if we can get here, what a beautiful thing it will be. And then let the icing on the cake come your way. So, page 197, momentum is a leader's best friend. I'm going to stay here for a second. Follow me and then give me any comments, anybody that you would like. Momentum is a leader's best friend. In our business, and I remember Teresa and I can go back 26 years when Teresa and I were at the same conference in Dallas, Texas, and this company, Prepaid Legal, showed up. Unbeknownst to us, unknown to us, never heard of the company, and bingo, they acquire the People's Network. Well, there were some things that I knew that Teresa wasn't quite aware of yet because I'd been in this industry longer. And in looking at Prepaid Legal, I knew that there were some things that we would have a chance to do that maybe I had never had an opportunity to do in my entire lifetime, even though it was really the holy grail of what you wanted to see in, the direct sales space. And Teresa came to me, and through blind faith and trust, she said, John, I just need to know if you think this is good for us. And I said, Teresa, and I mean, I'm only maybe 10, 15, 20 hours into understanding Prepaid Legal. And I looked Teresa in the eye and I said, absolutely it is. So momentum is a leader's best friend if you'll understand a couple of things. People are wanting you to answer 3 questions for them. We can do it better in Legal Shield than anybody if you'll pay attention to what I'm saying. In the prospecting phase, in the selling the membership phase, in order to build a business in the solution space, in the team building and network space for leveraged income, or maybe you just want to make an extra $2,000, $3,000 a month. It doesn't matter. To build a successful business here, you have to answer these 3 questions for people you're talking to. Is it simple? Does it work? And can I do it? I'll pick on Juwan for a second. I read Juwan's emails. I listen to Juwan's language, and I love Juwan, and I think he's fantastic. He's an extremely smart individual. He's extremely articulate. He writes with thought. He writes with detail. He covers everything from A to B. If Juwan is going to go and do a sit down with Brenda Daniels to discuss the membership, Juwan could give an hour dissertation on the power of this membership. He could introduce Brenda to the opportunity and say, our business is exploding, we need help. There's a good chance Brenda will get that membership from Juwan. And as Brenda's driving away, she's like, gosh, I could really use an opportunity. I can't stand my job. I haven't been paid what I'm worth. But man, if I have to be as good as Juwan, I could never do this business. So Brenda wasn't able to answer the questions with Juwan. It's really not simple. Well, I can see that it maybe works for Juwan. It's certainly not easy. Make sense? Now, I use that all as a hypothetical. I'm not saying that's how Juwan does his business. I know it's not. He's going to be soon next one of our 6-figure ring earners. The simpler you keep it. In 1998, when Darcy and I lived in Castle Rock, Colorado, we moved from Michigan to Colorado, we didn't know a soul in Colorado. And we were working with the People's Network. The People's Network was acquired by Prepaid Legal. I called Darcy back in Castle Rock. I told her about it. She got excited. She goes, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. This is going to be awesome. And I went and sat in front of Larry Smith. He didn't know who I was. I knew who he was. And I went and sat in the middle of a room with a legal notepad, and I took down notes on how to market this membership from somebody who was one of the best at doing it. Larry had a 14-page approach, presentation, and close script. Is it simple? Does it work? Can I do it? Nope. Nope. And no. What Larry didn't know was the strength of what Darcy and I knew. And I'm not taking anything away from Larry. He's a dear friend. But we went and we doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and then 10x'd what Larry's business was. And I'm not bragging about what we did and what you all did. We knew how to take the approach, presentation, and close script and basically break it down to a page and a half, asking 4 questions and giving 4 benefits and introducing a trial close. Today, it's simply called the consumer folder. So is it simple? Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. We've sold as an organization 1.7 million memberships. This organization has sold the Proper Care Shield Legal Career Solutions organization, 1.7 million memberships. That's all of us. Okay. So it does work. You know, documentation beats conversation. Is this simple? Does it work? And can I do it? Now, there are some of you on the phone that could do that 14-page approach, presentation, and close script. I couldn't. I'm just maybe a little bit more simpler than most people. You know what I mean? Is it simple? Does it work? Can I do it? The Shield Nation website is your team website. The onboarding today is as strong as the onboarding's ever been. Get the team locked and loaded to the culture and character of who we are and what we do. The Fast Start training is critical. Why? To get them into the bonus program. The Fast Start training, get them into the bonus program because that's what they're going to need to do with the people they bring on board. The Sales Mastery with Melissa. Tie into the Sales Mastery class with what Melissa does. That's really as simple as you got to keep it right there. Now, it doesn't mean that what Teresa and others do with small biz and Juwan, absolutely essential. It doesn't mean that you can't get off and understand the solution stuff. If that's important, I'm just saying in the beginning, you don't have to deviate or get too far off. Why Shield Nation? Because we've got the teams, we've got the consumer folder, and we've got the coaching model. Tell me, show me, let me, grow me. It can't get any simpler than those things if you want to teach A, how to teach B, how to teach C to sponsor D. You can show me your organization in the next 3 months, and if you've got 5 people front line, but they haven't sponsored anybody, then you're just off doing something outside of the program. Is it simple? Does it work? And can I do it? That's the way you get to the big mo. Okay, so I'm going to I'll pause for a second. Thoughts, comments, ahas.
I love it.
Okay, good. All right, anybody else?
John, this is Jane. Is the consumer folder still being printed? I think we were told it was not being printed anymore.
It's not being printed, but you know, you can still operate off of the basics of it. We have to update it.
Okay.
People have asked us to update it. If you guys have anybody that's good with that kind of stuff, call me and you know, we'll be able to maybe just hire them and have them jump on and kind of bring it up to date. You can see Legal Shield and Melissa Wilder, they've all copied Darcy's stuff.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like, again, I'm not concerned with who gets the credit. Yeah, it frustrates me, and yeah, it kind of ticks me off that corporate America can't provide some recognition to people who actually do it, but it's okay. You know, I'm a big boy. Juwan?
It was Teresa next.
Oh.
Teresa, we can't see your hand.
He doesn't like me anymore.
Quit raising that. I can't see that black hand. Stop it.
Well, it's got to match me. I don't have a yellow hand.
I see it's up there behind your picture, man.
Well, no, I wanted to talk about the momentum piece because I'm going to break it down to even with Legal Shield. Oftentimes, we're wondering why we don't have momentum in our organization, but have we really stopped to look at how do we onboard a new associate? Like for me, John, the first thing, I'm not trying to tell them, you sign up today, we got to get you in Fast Start tomorrow. That's not what I do. I want to get them paid and promoted first. The last thing we'll do is Fast Start only because that's how it will trigger their bonus. But I want to help them to build a team, 3 and 300. If I can get them to manager within a short period of time, their belief goes up tremendously. Now they've got momentum going. They've got a team that's building, and now they're having them to duplicate the exact same thing. So and that starts that momentum, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, look, it's in the interview and the onboarding phase that I'm really kind of catching their character, their dreams, their desires, and their interests. In their non-see the people tell the story time, they're going to be over going through the Shield Nation onboarding. Otherwise, they're not going to get my energy. It's like a chess match. I have to have you do these things. I have to see and have you hear, other than just from me, how you build your warm market list. I have to have them hear and see how Brielle and Bob and how they teach the marketing of the membership. Darcy does a great job with it too. I want them to see that, because in the tell me, show me, let me grow me, they're going to get that from me as well. Okay. So there's a lot there on the onboarding that is pretty short and sweet. It doesn't take that long to go for. I do know there's a timeline to the fast start. So, getting them into the fast start training to make sure that they fall within their timeline.
Right.
That becomes
Right.
important, but I'm managing that to the best of my ability, because really all I want is, to your point, the warm market list put together, the
Right.
prioritizing of the warm market list, the tell me, show me, let me grow me, and then the 2x2 going to the marketplace. I'm going to do the sit behinds. I'm going to do numerous 3-ways, and they are going to have an expectation to put me on 10 to 15 3-ways the first week. So, and I'm going to listen to them present and market too, and do the invites, so I can, tell me, show me, let me grow me, so I can grow me part of that. So yeah, there's a balance to it. I can't say there's a right or wrong, but as we start to grow together, doggone it, get on that sales mastery call at 10 o'clock at night and burn the midnight oil till, get on a recorded call and listen to it for an hour. How bad is your want to? Every one of us on this phone have probably burnt the midnight oil. We worked 8 to faint for many, many years until we got the momentum we wanted. So long answer, Juan.
I'll keep it brief. I mean, for me, it just resonates, as you said before. I'm a former investment advisor. And for those who don't know, what that means is I will sit in front of strangers who don't know me, and I would talk them into parting for $1 million of their money in less than 15 to 20 minutes. So I can sell the sun to a blind man, but I also realize that doesn't duplicate. Right. And for me, it's always that balance between doing what I do best, which is closing, but also making sure I do it in a way that duplicates. And the talk tonight is a very cogent and important reminder to me that I always have to walk that balancing act, right? Between doing what I do best, but also making sure I do it in a way that duplicates. And a lot of onboarding new associates is art and science, right? We know what the steps are, right? Get them paid and promoted, get them plugged into the system, make sure they have an opportunity to interact with other individuals aside from ourselves. But also, like, I'm thinking about a training I just listened to from Simon Sinek, ironically enough. He talks about the ideal, you have these companies that pop up, and they're on some, how can I create $1 million in 2 weeks? And the majority of those businesses go out of business in less than 2 years, versus those businesses that actually are predicated upon relationships, predicated upon principles, values, predicated upon creating a situation where the value prop is like first, and it's just centered around that. And that's what I think about when I think about Shield Nation, and I think about what you've accomplished. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we want to get associates paid, ideally a deposit of a comma in it when their first 10 days. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that we're giving them a track to run on where they just don't earn that deposit or the comment in it, but they understand or respect our business model and they understand this is a relationship and understand that long-term success doesn't come in 2 weeks, right? This is not fast food nation. So, you know, that's what I think about, and that's what crossed my mind. And I'm always appreciative for a reminder that, ultimately I can do a lot of things that will result in immediate success for myself. But one of the most important lessons I've learned, particularly as of recent, is not about what I can accomplish, but what can I duplicate. So those are the
Good.
thoughts I think about.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. To Juwan's point real quick, if I'm prospecting Jane, do you guys think I need to do a three-way call with anybody? Brenda says yes. Why, Brenda? I'm 26 years. I'm pretty good at what I do. Why do I need a three-way?
You have to take yourself out of the equation. Yeah, I mean, because that's how we do the business.
But tell us more. Tell us a little bit, but why do we do the business that way?
Because it's not about you. It's not about you. You want to do a three-way with someone that maybe has a similar background, a similar interest at them.
And what will that do for Jane?
I think it relaxes. I think it kind of breaks the barrier. Oh, wow, Mr. Hoffman plays golf. I do too. So you're getting a relationship, more of a relationship, and I'm sure I'm leaving more stuff out, John.
No, it's all true. The most important part is, yes, you're right. I can answer Jane's questions, but I'm going to do a three-way call with you as an example. And there's things she's probably going to hear from you that she didn't hear from me. But guess what? What will Jane now do with the people she's prospecting?
She'll do a three-way.
Duplicate three-way.
Right? So that's the importance of me doing a three-way. I can answer all Jane's questions. I can show her how good I am at all the stuff I've done. Wow, that's really intelligent. Or I can go, Jane, that's a great question. You know what I like to do is I didn't get my business partner, Brenda Daniels, on the phone. She's a tremendous leader and she's done some great things. And Brenda can better answer those questions, but more importantly, she can help me understand along with you. And she can better share with you where we're going. Okay.
And I would say that, yeah, I can't do what you did.
Well, none of us can do what we do. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. I mean, I wish I could hit a ball like you hit a ball. Okay. I can't. One day, son. One day I will. One day. All right. Page 197, another big one. Well, we might have to end it up here and then we'll go into the rest. 197, after all, momentum is a leader's best friend. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Y'all got to get off your butt and out of your offices and start seeing some people and telling the story. Teresa, contrary to what you think, there is a lot of momentum on the team, a lot of great hot spots. So a bunch. And so that's pretty positive, but what I would also say is understand this and help your team to understand this. You're not looking for results. No to results. You can't control results. This is the power of Darcy's Habits Workbook and maybe one of my favorite chapters. Understand what you control. The hours you work, the presentations you do, and your attitude. I promise you, the thing that separates me from every one of you guys is I was willing to go get more no's than probably all of you combined. And I never got discouraged by the no's because I was getting better all the time at who I was and what I was doing. And the more people I put in my pipeline, the more they started to go from no to yes. And remember, don't be concerned with getting a NO. Only be concerned with your prospect KNOW.
Uh-oh, John, you froze.
He froze.
Yeah, it froze on me too.
Huh?
You froze.
He
Okay, we
froze for
got
a
you
second.
now. Yeah, we got you now.
Okay. Are we
You
good?
were spelling the KNOW. We were right there. Then you stopped.
Oh, my internet might have froze there. So I am only concerned if I'm prospecting Jane with the membership or the opportunity, I'm okay if Jane says NO to me. Only once she KNOW, only once she knows what it is we do. Well, John, no, I'm just not interested. Well, what do you mean you're not interested, Jane? I haven't even shared with you who we are or what we do or what the benefits are. Jane, I am going to persist until the cows come home. And once you KNOW, once you know and tell me no, I'm okay. But what if this was for you and you just didn't look at it? The biggest reason for man's failure is contempt prior to examination. The biggest reason for man's failure is contempt prior to examination. We have a society that lives in a contempt state a lot of times because they think they know so much and they're so stupid. So anyhow, just understand, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. I'm only concerned with the hours you work, the presentations you do, and your attitude.
Please,
Paul,
please repeat that one more time. The biggest reason.
for man's failure is contempt prior to examination.
Oh, makes sense.
Make sense? Okay. But that's key. That is absolutely key. So many people, ladies and gentlemen, get tossed to and fro. Scripture is very clear. Do not be tossed to and fro. Know who you are, know what you're about, be a man and woman of purpose. And I can't control results. You know, Brielle was getting tossed to and fro with her results. In the beginning, I was frustrated because I was getting no-showed and no-showed and no-showed. And it wasn't until Paul J. Meyer, it wasn't until Miles Monroe, it wasn't until Kenneth Hagin and these people came into my life and I started to understand, well, wait a minute. I can't control what Brenda says. Brenda might look at this business and go, John, I don't like the car you drive and I just don't like you. Okay. I'm not interested. Okay, good. No, I'll next. Some will, some won't. Someone's waiting. The 3 SWs. Okay. Let's leave it there for a second since we're at 9:40 and it is Memorial Day, and I know maybe some of you guys are still got family and celebrating. I'm going to make a note here. I do want to finish page 199 and page 201, but we'll do that next Monday. I want to give you 2 questions. If you would write these down, and then anybody have any closing comments, please feel free. Daria, if you're still on, I have got the Premier Solution stuff I'll be sending you tomorrow. And I would like to have a follow-up with you in regards to the little seminars you have coming up in the Carolinas. Okay. I just thought of that and saw my note. So 2 questions. Okay. What obstacles to momentum are you currently facing? What obstacles to momentum are you currently facing? Next question. What will it take to overcome them? Want me to repeat them?
Yep.
First question, what obstacles to momentum are you currently facing? So what obstacles to momentum are you currently facing? And what will it take to overcome them? Okay.
Yep. What will it take to overcome them?
Now, John, will you be here next week? Because the Circle of Champion, don't you all leave early?
Teresa, so glad I got you. I will
You know
not
I
be.
got your back.
Yeah, actually, you know what, guys and gals, Teresa, why don't I have a follow-up with you, Jane and Brenda? And
Okay.
not only will I not be here next week, but I fly from Mexico to Phoenix because my daughter is having her second baby boy. I'm going to be out for 2 Mondays. So,
Okay,
so
we
thank you.
got you.
I know you do, and I appreciate that, and y'all do a fantastic job. So I'm going to follow up with you and kind of share with you maybe how the three of you can carry the next 2 calls forward. How's that?
Okay.
Couple
Got
ideas that I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, John,
Sounds
everybody.
good. Thank you, John.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Thank
to
you,
all-
family. You grow me, and I love you guys.
family.
Thanks, Juan.
Thank you,
Have a good
everybody, for all your content tonight. Thank
Have
you.
a dandy night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.